Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. Um, so I was going to say that my question is that
Please, your name.
my name is
Introduce
Dakwa
yourself.
Obeku. Sorry, Dakwa Obeku. My name. And my question is this. Now we know that to get the culture of debate to one that is largely acceptable in Nigeria, citizens have to first see value in it. Um, Unlike sinner climes, which might never be the case anymore, we know that they start establishing culture. People, they must hold the debates. They must be present at the debates. But in Nigeria, for example, a governor or anybody can decide not to show up, and there's no penalty. Now, in the US, for example, how did they get to that stage where it's important to hold it? You cannot avoid the debates. How did they get there? And what can Nigeria learn from that process? Or rather, would Nigeria have to just keep striving like yeah, he's doing, and other people hold conversations around debates, host debates every now and then, and hopefully a government comes, buys it in, and then it's institutionalized. What process can Nigeria learn from what is working there in how we can make this debate structured? Thank you.
All right. Do we have any others? I think we should take a few before we allow her to respond. Yes. Please, your name and the institution you represent, and then your question.
Thank you very much. I'm Dili Omoyeni. I work with Channels Television. I'd like to ask Madam Brown. The truth is, all politics is local. So my question is, should organizations like EIE move to the streets and ask Parliament in Nigeria to make debates compulsory, to put it in the laws? Because in America, the candidates see the need. That's why they go for those debates. But it appears in Nigeria, they don't see the need. And so one of the things that has been a cause of worry for lots of people is that we don't interrogate the people who lead us very well. As someone has said, I think it was Mrs. Aligwood that said that they just tell us what they want to do, they don't tell us how. And so there's a process to everything. So the debates would tell us how you intend to do those things. So should EIE, just like, I mean, women have been at the front of the National Assembly protesting for several bills. So should EIE and other organizations actually invade the National Assembly and say, please put this in our laws? I know there's a member of the House of Reps here, so he's also listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other for now? Okay, we allow Ms. Brown to take those two questions, and then we can come back for more questions. Ms. Brown?
Two very good questions, very important topics. How do we get to the point where debates are just accepted and they take place? It has taken a long time in this country. And the fact that they are now accepted does not mean that we don't have speed bumps along the way. However, I think it's extremely important for this is an opportunity for the community to come together and share its objective in the benefits of debates. That means citizenry, civic groups, the media, and other NGOs like EIE, higher education institutes. This is something where there is commonality particularly between the media and NGOs and civic organizations. The media has a huge role to play in getting information from the debates themselves to the public. It's a function of two things, both media coverage and technology, which thankfully can be used in very creative and aggressive ways to the benefit of the citizenry, especially to get at this issue that was mentioned earlier about urban versus rural. But you need to work toward this culture of debates, this new status quo in which saying no to a debate is going to be met with pushback and with skepticism and with doubt. In the beginning, when debates happened in this country, you will remember there were very famous Nixon-Kennedy debates in 1960, which was the first time that television as a medium could have supported this kind of a national political event. What happened afterwards? In spite of the huge attention to those events and a very big audience, there were no debates again until 1976. That was because of reasons that the candidates offered in the subsequent elections, 64, 68, 72, that basically the public lived with. They did not object to. And the reason, obviously, is that there was no established sense of the public having the right to expect this. They need to come to be seen as routine. And I commend to you the example of Argentina. I have mentioned a couple of times Debates International, which is one of the most surprising developments at the Commission on Presidential Debates since our founding. Shortly after we were founded, we started to get inquiries from NGOs like EIE from different ways, sometimes directly, sometimes through US embassies, all of them asking, how can we, an NGO in a particular country, either start or improve our leadership debates? The reason for the contact was simply that the US debates are seen all over the world. They are broadcast in real time by all major media outlets. And it seemed to all of these other countries that this was something that in fact would help enhance democracy and move it along. That is an absolutely remarkable thing. There was no particular reason that happened. It was absolutely organic. It has resulted in a 40-country network called Debates International. And I strongly urge you to go on our website. Nigeria has been a strong partner in Debates International for years. And the website offers a cornucopia of information regarding what different countries have done vis-a-vis debates and educational activities around the debates. Argentina started from no expectation that there would be debates, in fact, active work against them by the candidates. And over a 3-year period, did the most extraordinary job of putting together coalitions of the debate sponsoring organization, Argentina Debate, the media groups, working with campaigns so that they would understand what these debates were all about, that there would be no surprises, that this was something that was going to be good for the country. And they got to a remarkable place of having the debates be a featured part of the election with extraordinary audiences from the get-go. So I strongly recommend you look at what they have done. And as Yemi knows, there are people there that I know would be very pleased to share their experiences. They have every right to be extremely proud of what they have done. To go to the second question regarding compulsory debates and whether you should think about having Parliament mandate these, there is every reason to look at that very seriously. I don't think if a law were passed in the United States mandating debates, that it would be upheld as being constitutional, because it is basically the reverse of free speech. In parliamentary systems, there is an entirely different set of factors to look at, and I would refer you to almost our newest member of Debates International, the Canadian Debate Commission, which is parliamentary chartered and founded, and is run by some wonderful, energetic, and smart colleagues who have done an astonishing amount of work in a very short time, including addressing the issue of how important it is to get debates telecast in many different languages in order to meet all of the different populations of a country. So I am not expert at all in parliamentary systems. I don't know if this is something that would assist Nigeria, but there is every reason to examine it, to talk with thoughtful politicians, office holders, and understand could this be done in a way that was helpful to the debates without bringing along a lot of things that dictate details that a debate sponsoring organization does not want to have absolutely set in cement. Debate should be allowed to evolve. It's what I mentioned regarding our format. We have come a long way since our first debates, where it was a very staid affair with a moderator, 3 panelists, and very strictly allotted time to candidates for their answers and rebuttals. Now we have 6 pods of 15 minutes in our debates that are, each pod is devoted to one topic. And the moderator has the discretion to move the conversation along during that 15-minute period without constant micro timing mechanisms. So I don't think it's helpful to have legislation that dictates all of the details about a debate, because those will change from year to year, and they should change so that they continue to serve the public.
All right, thank you. Do we have any questions online?
Yes, we do. We have 2 questions. The first question is from Bumi Oke. And the question is, what strategy would you recommend for presidential debates in a complex country of diverse languages like Nigeria? And our next question is from Hussein, and it says, what measures can be taken towards making the debate so important for aspirants? Because here in Nigeria, it's something else based on their ego. Thank you. So those are the 2 questions.
All right, Ms. Brown, I hope you got those 2 questions.
I did. Another great 2 questions. The language issue is extremely complicated. We are lucky in this country that our broadcast goes out in 1 language. Yemi knows our executive producer, Marty Slutsky, and I can see Marty going even grayer than he already is if he thought that he had to do these in as many languages as the Canadians do. Again, that is a production complexity. It can be, I believe, it can be overcome if you get the right people involved in the production. These broadcasts are extremely important. It is vital that you have a format and a broadcast in whatever format, whether it's TV, radio, or streaming, that is dignified and that allows the public to hear and see everything in a seamless way. So the production is absolutely key. From the beginning, you need to factor in the number of languages and what that will mean about how to do the debate in a technical way that allows you to meet those citizens, again, to go back to what the previous panel said, where they are, where they live, how they speak, and how they can absorb information. That is the only right and dignified thing to do. And again, I would highly recommend that you talk to our friends in Canada. Michel Cormier and his colleagues have done an astonishing job in trying to get their arms around 8 to 10 languages that they are trying to reach in their broadcasts. And obviously it goes without saying, we are here, the commission, to help with anything that we can in helping to think through these production issues. The getting to where these are just an accepted and an expected part of an election campaign is hard work. But I must say that I think there is great value in the simple question to candidates: what do you have to do that is more important? Why in this campaign, which is a long, hopefully productive job interview for you to be selected to govern a country, and to go back to the previous panel again, to tell us how you will govern. Why is it asking too much for you to address the people of this country with your primary opponents and to explain what you would do as opposed to what they would do. Why is that asking too much? That's a very simple question. And if that can be the focus of an effort by EIE, along with your colleagues, your partners, the media, to basically have one voice in asking the candidates to commit to this. It is hard, and you must commit to a sustained effort to try to make it come to the point where, as it does in this country, if a candidate says no, the public says that's not acceptable.
All right. Two more questions. If there are any. One here. One gentleman here and one at the other end. Very quickly, please step forward. This will be the last two questions for this session.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. My name is Kemi Busari. I'm the editor of Dubawa. Anytime we talk about election, one thing that comes to my mind is political participation. So, for instance, in the last 3 presidential elections in Nigeria, participation in 2011 was 54%, 2015 about 44%, and in 2019 about 35%. So it keeps reducing by the year. So my question is there any strength that political debate holds in making sure that people come out to vote? And if yes, what are the new strategies that need to be deployed by the organizers of this debate? Thank you.
Thank you. The next question, please.
Thank you very much. My name is Gospel Precious. So mine is this. We've found in Nigeria, for example, that it is the incumbent in power that somehow refuses to attend debates, just like we saw in 2019. And mine is this, a question to her as it is to those of us here. How can we maybe, I know some people have said, okay, let's push National Assembly to see how we can make it a law going forward. But that may not be practicable for the next election. So can we advocate to INEC to make it part of their guidelines as the election managers? I mean, is this something we can do before going towards the 2023 election? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's get your response, Ms. Brown. I think the last question is possibly directed at us here. We answer that here, but let's get Ms. Brown to answer the first question.
The question of turnout in our country is always a concern. It is nothing like we would hope. It has gotten a little bit better recently, but I would urge EIE to focus on the debates and separate the issue of turnout to the extent that you can while you are trying to bring together candidates to commit to the debates and to commit to a debate format that is educational. In this country, the viewership of debates is enormous. In 2020, the first presidential debate was seen by more than 70 million people through conventional television broadcasts. When you add online streaming and international, it's probably, the audience was probably around 120 million people. As you all know, that's getting into World Cup regions. That is a lot of viewers and listeners. If debates do their job, they will motivate people to register and vote the other pieces of RSVP. And if you look at exit poll data in the United States, it shows consistently for decades that more people find the debates helpful in deciding how to vote than any other single factor. That does not say necessarily they change people's minds. It does say that they find them extremely helpful. I would urge you to put your energies towards making the debates the best you possibly can. and that turnout concerns will be informed and hopefully made better because of really good, informative, provocative debates. There's a key bit of advice in our business that I would suggest you bear in mind. Debates are big and complicated. They are not rocket science, which is good, because I'm not sure that our team should be in charge of a space shuttle. But they do take time and attention, and it is extremely important for the public and for the candidates that you get them right. That is the only respectful and dignified thing to do. But they do take a lot of time and attention. And as I like to say to people that are trying to get to where we are in terms of the public expectation that these will happen, and this is exactly what Argentina did. Don't blink. Do not take your foot off the accelerator. You have got a big job. Focus on getting it right. Don't get distracted. Don't get discouraged, and don't blink.
Thank you so much, Ms. Brown. Thank you very much. And I think the last question that was asked had to do with whether or not the Independent National Electoral Commission can make debates part of its guidelines. Well, I don't think that the law establishing INEC empowers it to do that. But I know that over time, INEC has always encouraged the political parties and the candidates especially to participate in election debates. I recall that in some years past, the INEC in fact assisted the Nigeria Elections Debate Group with some funds in organizing those debates that we have been talking about. Essentially, it is the responsibility of about 4 or 5 institutions and bodies in Nigeria to carry out political enlightenment and to encourage people to turn out to vote on election day. The Independent National Electoral Commission is one of them. The media is one of them. The political parties, their primary responsibility is to mobilize voters to go to the polls, to mobilize voters to share their view, their world view of what they want to do in power and get the people out to vote. And then, of course, civil society organizations also have the responsibility of political enlightenment and mobilization of voters to the polls on election days. So these are the institutions, these are the bodies, these are the organizations that should go out there and do mobilization and get more people to come out and vote, and get more people enlightened politically. That's what we mean when he talked earlier on about political education. People must be conscious, they must be aware to want to, in the first place, cast their ballot for a particular party or a particular candidate. Thank you so much for your attention during this session.
Thank you very much.